If you're a writer, you know the feeling. Staring at that blank page, that void. It can be absolutely paralyzing, right? But what if that emptiness wasn't the end? What if it was actually the raw fuel for your greatest work? Today, we're going to dive into how to turn that void into a source of immense power. Think of it as a heroic climb we're taking together.
This really sets the scene, doesn't it? Imagine a world where all the old maps, all the trusted sources of meaning, just vanished. For a writer, that's creative block. You're left shivering in what Nietzsche calls a hollow existence. And man, is that a familiar, chilling feeling.
All right, so this is where our journey kicks off. Down in the cold gray void, what we're calling the Valley of Shadows. But here's the crucial thing to remember. This is not our final destination. For us, this is just the starting point.
So picture yourself as this climber. You're lost. Everything you thought you knew, it's useless now. Your creative well has run dry. This shattering insight feels like total despair. But, and this is key, it's actually what our source material calls a sacred and necessary state of hunger. It's the emptiness that has to come before you can create something truly new and powerful.
Okay, look at this. This slide tells the whole story, right? On the left, you've got the gray shadow life, that heavy, leaden cloak of despair we all know. But on the right, that's the potential hiding inside it, the promised red energy, a vibrant, heroic pulse just waiting to be unleashed. The whole journey is about getting from the left side to the right.
So how do we do it? How do we escape that valley? Well, here's the thing. You're not waiting around for a rescue party. The way out isn't external. It comes from an internal ignition. It's about lighting your own campfire right there in the dark.
And this is our engine. This is the secret weapon for our climb, the will to power. I want you to think of it as your internal metabolic fire. Its job is to take the absolute bitterness of that empty, meaningless void and do something incredible with it. Not just endure it, but consume it, transform it, and metabolize it into pure creative energy.
And if that sounds a little too abstract, this analogy makes it crystal clear. Think of a campfire. Your despair, your writer's block, that feeling of meaninglessness, that's just cold, dead wood. Your will to power is the spark, the flame that doesn't just get rid of the wood, it transforms it into the warmth and light that your story, your art, desperately needs.
So what's this fire's job exactly? Well, it is not passive. It's an active, hungry, almost combative force. It literally acts as a digestive force that eats the raw flesh of the void. It actively fights against that spirit of gravity that's always trying to pull you down into stagnation. Its purpose is to metabolize bitterness and burn away that heavy cloak of despair, turning all of it into fuel.
Okay, so this brings us to the most active, maybe the hardest, part of our climb, consuming the bitterness. See, the ascent isn't about finding a nice, safe path around the storm. Nope, it's about climbing directly through it and using the chaos itself as your fuel.
And this right here, this is a total game changer in perspective. That terrifying emptiness you feel in front of a blank page, it's not your enemy. It is the ultimate blank canvas. For what Nietzsche calls the writer of blood, this chaos isn't something to run from. It's the very raw material you're going to shape into art.
So how do you actually do this? It's a process. First, you have to face the void head-on, acknowledge it. Then, you reject the temptation to just wallow in it, what Nietzsche calls the venom of the tarantula. Next, you use that inner fire to consume and transform the bitterness. And finally, you say a huge, resounding yes to the whole struggle, finding joy not in avoiding the fight, but in the fight itself.
And when you do all that, the result is this incredible image. You're not just surviving, you are dancing. You're finding grace and power not in spite of the hardship, but because of it. The jagged, chaotic rocks of the world become the very stage for your self-authored life. And after that grueling climb, we make it. We're at the summit. And up here, the entire perspective changes. The world isn't a valley of shadows anymore. It's a sacred playground. This is the ultimate payoff, seeing the world through the eyes of a creator who has finally mastered their own inner fire.
From this new height, you realize something profound. What looked like an absolute catastrophe from down in the valley is actually a massive opportunity. The loss of all those old, easy meanings isn't a problem to be solved. It was the necessary condition for your total creative freedom. It's the prerequisite for a truly new beginning.
So what does that feel like? It's like your creative world becomes this self-propelled wheel, rolling effortlessly out of its own center, out of you. Creation is no longer a struggle against some external force. It's just this natural, joyful, powerful unfolding.
And for every writer, every artist out there, this is the bottom line. This is the whole point. All the chaos, all the randomness, the pain of the world, it's no longer just happening to you. With your metabolic fire, you transform it. You turn life's random accidents into the deliberate, intentional brushstrokes of your art.
So in the end, it really boils down to this. A choice. Two different views from the exact same mountain. On one side, you have the last man. He's paralyzed, small, blinking in a sterile light, completely unable to understand the joy of the dancer. And on the other, you have the overman, the creator, who acts as a lightning bolt of meaning, finding pure rapture in the very same chaos that traps the other.
This quote just says it all, doesn't it? It's the perfect summary of the entire climb. Up on the highest peaks of your creative potential, your will to power is that sacred yes. It's the alchemical force that doesn't just help you endure agony, it transforms agony into a powerful stimulant for life and for art. So we end here, back at the beginning, but with a new perspective. The void isn't a threat, it's an invitation. The blank page, the empty canvas, the unclimbed mountain, they are all yours for the taking. The only question left is, what fire will you breathe into your creation?